Hello. Throughout this presentation, we'll identify strategic level opportunities that Starbucks faces in the current market. In doing so, we'll take a look at external and internal analyses of the coffee industry as a whole, as well as Starbucks as a company itself. We'll also take a look at some strategy recommendations going forward and ways to implement them recommendations. Here we'll look at some of the strategic level opportunities that Starbucks is faced with. First, and the most significant one, we see international growth. We believe that with the U.S. market becoming saturated over the past couple of years, there are plenty of emerging markets overseas. And while they have faltered in this quest in the past, we believe that if they follow some of our strategic recommendations and implementation techniques, they'll be able to take advantage of this. And secondly, we believe that if they take advantage of the consumer packaged goods trend, this will add another revenue stream for Starbucks down the road. While performing an external analysis of the coffee industry as a whole, we decided to use the Porter's Five Forces analysis. A couple things to note here. The threat of new entrants, we deemed it to be low, although there's a low investment cost for these companies to set themselves up. We believe that well-established brands are not allowing them to gain a strong foothold in the industry. We think Starbucks does a great job of thwarting this threat by having prime locations and already having economies of scale. Another thing to note here is the bargaining power of suppliers. We believe it to be moderate to low. Starbucks is dedicated to the fair trade certification, which in turn makes the suppliers more on a partnership level. So they're not exploiting their suppliers, and the suppliers are getting fair costs for their supplies. And there's also low threat of vertical integration, which means the suppliers aren't going to set up coffee shops themselves. It's just not feasible at this point in time. And then industry rivalry, we deem this moderate to high due to the monopolistic competition. Starbucks has a large market share, but so does Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's. But we believe Starbucks is situated correctly due to them being differentiated as a premium product. And looking at the Porter's Five Forces analysis as a whole, it looks like Starbucks is in decent shape. A couple things to worry about for the future, but we believe that if they can take advantage of the strategic level opportunity of international expansion, that this will thwart many of the threats that Starbucks faces.
As a part of the external analysis, we chose to do a pest analysis to determine the many variables impacting Starbucks, the first portion being political. Unfortunately, this tends to be the most volatile as of recent due to the heightened political outbreaks both domestic and internationally. This can be easily seen as how this Starbucks coffee container has evolved from the original festive cup in 2009 to a very simple, non-offensive cup in 2015. Additionally, even the presentation of their employees has changed, as Starbucks now allows their employees to rock whatever hair color they desire. Next, like any product-driven corporation, the taxes and quotas on importing and exporting has a huge impact on the bottom line. Luckily, there are no current issues, but that could change over time. Starbucks does pay a very low corporate tax rate as its headquarters is in Seattle, Washington, comparative to some of its competitors whose headquarters are in Nevada, and there is no corporate tax rate. Lastly, the last political pressure comes specifically from ensuring their employees are well treated and compensated. We have seen firms like Nike, for instance, who paid the price for neglecting to sufficiently provide care and acceptable working conditions for contractors in third world countries. From an economic perspective, the ever-fluctuating strength of the U.S. dollar is a huge impact when dealing with foreign nations. Fluctuations in its value can uncontrollably cost or benefit Starbucks' profit margin. Developing countries and economic prosperity go hand in hand as third world countries become more economically dependent and the cost of labor increases, in turn increase taxes and go-to-market costs as well. Starbucks started a program called the Global Farm Fund Program, which Starbucks created for its raw material providers. What this program does is it provides discounted financing to their direct suppliers. The fund reached an amount of $50 million at one point and helps to maintain the low cost for raw materials. From a geographical perspective, the countries that Starbucks primarily deals with are Latin America and the Asia Pacific region. where Starbucks imports most of its coffee beans and other raw materials. How this relates economically is a lot of the individuals or the labor cost in those areas have high employee benefits. So this is also another factor that Starbucks runs into when dealing with foreign nations, is the different benefits policies and the different labor costs versus working with a domestic partner. Lastly, I've combined social and technological variables in regards to Starbucks. The Starbucks success is heavily dependent on meeting the busy schedules of its consumers. To accommodate, they've extended store hours, some even 24 hours. And these stores have easy to access drive-through windows for convenience. Another variable that directly impacts Starbucks is the changing in family demographics. This is where Starbucks struggles. They offer a pricey, high-quality product that doesn't appeal to larger families. Their youngest consumer base is driven by college-level students and older, versus competitors like Dunkin', who offer cheaper, non-caffeinated alternatives, allowing them to build loyalty to consumers earlier than that of Starbucks. This is directly correlated to the technological perspective, as millennials, as we all know, are becoming heavily dependent on speed and convenience. To meet the needs of the consumer, Starbucks was one of the first to adopt the lounge social environment across all its stores with free Wi-Fi. This allows for consumers to work, study, and surf the web while enjoying a refreshing beverage. This also attracts locals to congregate and hang out together in their stores. The most important advancement, hands down, has got to be the mobile ordering tool, which Starbucks has partnered with Apple to create. This gives consumers the ability to order, pay, and pick up with ease. Overall, Starbucks is a high-quality product, service-driven business, and the easy-to-use app aligns directly with their business strategy and offers them an avenue for success into the future.
Now we'll review our internal analysis. Here we've used Barney's VRIO framework to analyze Starbucks' core competencies to determine if they are better than their competition, providing a sustained competitive advantage for the company. We evaluated Starbucks' core competencies of providing premium coffee products, superior customer service, and a unique customer atmosphere. We assessed these based on the 4 questions in the VRIO framework. Does it provide value in comparison to the competition? Is it rare in that no other competitors have it? Would it be costly for the competition to imitate it? And does the company have adequate resources to fully exploit it? In evaluating Starbucks premium coffee products, we determined that it does provide competitive advantage due to the high perceived customer value and brand awareness, that it is rare, as Starbucks endeavors to offer products of much higher quality than its competition, carefully selecting suppliers that meet their lofty standards, that it would be costly for competitors to imitate Starbucks' high standards and processes, and that organizationally, Starbucks has consistently succeeded in exploiting the value of their premium products. In evaluating Starbucks' superior customer service, we determined that it does provide a valuable competitive advantage as it is well known throughout the industry, that the superior level of customer service that Starbucks provides is a rarity, that it would be costly and time-consuming for competitors to develop and train the necessary workforce to imitate Starbucks, and that the Starbucks organization has been committed to superior customer service since the early 1990s and has utilized their success in this area to their full advantage. When looking at Starbucks' unique coffeehouse atmosphere, we determined that it also provides a valuable competitive advantage as it is very popular with its customers. But it's not rare, as other coffee houses provide similar environments. It would also not be too costly to imitate a Starbucks store setting, but that the Starbucks organization has consistently focused on the customer environment, continually striving to enhance their experience. On these next 2 slides, we've used Michael Porter's value chain concept to evaluate Starbucks' competitive advantage around its primary and support activities. Starbucks' primary activities include inbound logistics, where suppliers ship beans in bags specifically designed to seal in their flavor. Starbucks operations activities, which include high-tech gas-fired roasting machines operated by very well-trained roasters. Evaluating outbound logistics, we noted the substantial number of stores that Starbucks has around the world, and each of these stores is manned by highly trained and welcoming baristas that brew coffee every hour per Starbucks standardized drink preparation procedures. Additionally, the stores offer a classy, modern, and comfortable setting so that its customers can enjoy their drink or snack while they work and socialize. Starbucks marketing and sales has driven activities for strong brand recognition, highlighting their outstanding product quality in their advertisements. Starbucks continually evaluates their service levels, looking for opportunities for improvement. They use a mystery shopper feedback program called Customer Snapshot to gain insight into the quality of the products and services experienced by their customers. Now looking at the value chain analysis support activities, these include procurement, where Starbucks has chosen honest, reliable suppliers who provide top quality beans; technology development, which is supported by Starbucks' structured new product development process, which includes significant attention to employee input to help drive new innovative product offerings, along with their integration of in-store Wi-Fi services, which improves their superior experience by facilitating customer connectivity. Human resource management activities are focused on their world-class customer service, driven by a corporate commitment to shape their workforce that is dedicated and exceptionally well-trained. And Starbucks infrastructure is made up of systems to facilitate management, finance, accounting, planning, and quality assurance responsibilities that have effectively supported the company's growth throughout all areas of the value chain.
Strategy recommendations. Two strategic level opportunities we introduced earlier in the presentation are our two focuses of strategy. First is international growth. Second is consumer packaged goods. Concerning international growth, we want to continue expanding in Asia, particularly China and Japan. We want to re-strategize our efforts in Australia, and we do want to continue studying other regions for entry. As far as consumer packaged goods, we want to expand our packaged product offerings, mainly to combat the threat of substitutes like teas and juices and brew-at-home coffees. And we want to increase our advertising of our consumer packaged goods to let the public know that these options, these Starbucks products, are available in convenience stores and grocery stores. Regarding the international growth strategy, we want to continue expanding in Asia, particularly China and Japan. Starbucks saw great successes in China and Japan, which were kind of a surprise. It's a great opportunity for expansion, to build on the success that we found in these regions, to build more stores, much like when Starbucks was expanding in the United States in its early history. We can also re-strategize our efforts in Australia. We made some mistakes in Australia. We can learn from those mistakes. We can start stimulating demand by redesigning the few remaining stores to find something that works for Australians, shorter menus and more basic products, to create an experience that's more comfortable for Australians. Once we have that success, we can start to build on that formula as well. We also want to continue studying other regions, utilizing our small research teams like we did in the past to create a product mix and innovation that's tailored to local markets. We always want to adjust our three-pronged approach of premium coffee, superior service, and an upscale coffee house experience. We want to adjust that approach by region. Once I said with the right mix of products and innovation that's tailored to each region. The second leg of our strategy is in consumer packaged goods. We want to implement that strategy by expanding our packaged product offerings. We want to offer products that are tailored to consumer regional trends. For instance, in the United States, there's a big trend for health foods and drinks. There's also a big trend for ready-made drinks or drinks that are easy to make for people who are on the go with busy lifestyles. In the past, Starbucks created Via, which was a big success. They offered instant coffee that really tastes like fresh brewed coffee. It extended the brand because it offered a convenience of a cup at home or in the office without having to brew a whole pot of coffee. We also want to increase our advertising. As Starbucks expands our product offerings in convenience stores and grocery stores for home use or office use, we want to let consumers know what Starbucks products are available. That way, Starbucks customers can be purchasing these new products, and also maybe customers who wouldn't normally go into a Starbucks location, they're not typical Starbucks customers, can start buying these products for home use in grocery stores and convenience stores.